It's a joy to be able to have a few moments right here in this Christmas week on this Thursday to spend with you. And I hope you're encouraged in the Lord. Sometimes the holidays can beat us down with all the pressures and all the things we need to do. And for some also, being with extended family who maybe have unresolved issues from the past, it can be a trying time. But regardless of that, God is able to meet the need, and the message of Christmas ought to just grip our hearts. If we can just meditate on what God has done, it makes all the difference for us. Luke chapter 2, of course, gives the wonderful story of the Nativity, the coming of Jesus Christ. And there are so many facets to this. We love the shepherds, the angels, Jesus being born in a manger, and shepherds glorifying the Lord. You just see so many aspects. And then, as we've already looked at, Simeon and Anna declaring that this was the Messiah that was to come. But in this passage, we have also the account that Joseph and Mary, and from the Matthew account, we know they went to Egypt first, and then they went back to Nazareth. And so the story continues on. And I think this is an amazing thing. We're to have the same mind that Christ has. And in Philippians chapter 2, in verses 5 through 11, you have there the humiliation of Christ and then his exaltation. And in that matter of him becoming a servant for us, we cannot help but think of what it must have been like for Christ to go through every aspect of human existence, from conception to birth, especially in the lowly place he was at, on the run because of Herod, and then in a very meager place called Nazareth and with his parents. And here he is, the Almighty God, yet he submitted himself to his parents. And we read in verse 40 a remarkable fact, and the Lord grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. That child grew. And so here we see the Lord going through the full process. 33 years. And it's amazing to me that the God of heaven would do that. And yet he went through the entire process of development and growth. We know that he learned obedience, and he waxed strong in spirit. He had wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. And so we see that even Jesus, who had perfect humanity, depended upon the Spirit of God to give him grace for wisdom and strength to do what God had called him to do. I'll guarantee you, it wasn't easy to be a preschool child, elementary child, high school child, young adult, the King of Heaven. But he did it, and he did it for us. And we need to be thankful. And we see here how he is an example of what happens when we depend upon the Spirit, and we allow him to give us wisdom, and we allow the grace of God to transform us. Then we can accomplish the very purpose that God has for us. So let's be encouraged as we think of the humiliation that Christ went through for us to become a man. He did it. He completed it. And because of that, Christmas is wonderful. Jesus, Jehovah saves. We have salvation.